ATV-TALK, the podcast. Sit down with your host, industry professional, Leonard Duncan, as the men and women from the ATV world bring their behind-the-scenes stories to life. Every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And remember, dream big. It could be your story one day.
GBC Power Sports Tires, a division of Greenball Corp, has been producing industry-leading tires for ATV side-by-side market for over 25 years, with tires like Mongrel, Dirt Devil, TerraMaster, XC Master, Dirt Commander, and Groundbuster. They have a tire for your application. Top racers from GNCC, Works, and Best in the Desert rely on GBC Power Sports tires. So why shouldn't you? Go check them out at gbctires.com to see the full line of tires they offer. Thank you very much.
So the lights just came back on. Wow, it's getting ready to rock and roll here. This is amazing. It's a little cold, but everybody's excited. You can just feel the electricity. I mean, this place is hopping. It's great. So we're getting ready for the first go around. It's going to be Brandon Hogue and Jeffrey Rastrelli. These guys are both dynamite fast in motocross. Brandon's had a little trouble with the tires, getting through them. It's not something that he's used to. Jeffrey had a little bit of trouble in qualifying, but when they went out there, unfortunately, Brandon had to go home. But Jeffrey ran on to the next round, which was against Joel Hetrick. And unfortunately, that ended Jeffrey's night. But we got to see Bryce Ford go out there and do battle, and he raced almost flawlessly the most of the whole night. But the race of the night, I think the race that made the whole thing was Max Lindquist. And I am sorry, I believe Ian or Jeremy is the gentleman's name. He's a cross-country pro-am rider. The kid's awesome. He's super talented. I'm messing up his name, but we'll get a highlight in there of who he is. That race was the race of the night. Max Lindquist came off the machine in the tires twice on each side and still moved on to the next round, because at the end on the last turn, you have to make a left-hand turn to get back to the finish line on the end of the race. You're not going to see a whole lot of this in the footage or hear it, but Max passed him right at the very end. I mean, his phenomenal motocross speed and talent was the difference in this race, but that was the excitement of the night. It set the tone for the rest of the race. Riley did real well in his two outings. He didn't go home instantly. Unfortunately, your head-to-heads with your cross-country guys in the beginning were a little disappointing for them, with Walker Fowler and Hunter Hart. But John Galata Jr. did okay for his first round. It was just a lot of fun. Roberto and Logan Huff. Roberto bombed these tires. I mean, dude, he just made it look like it wasn't even there. He wasn't quite as fast on the motocross track, but that's not his forte. But man, when he got through those big tires, it was awesome. The crowd loved it. It was just a lot of fun. Bryce got off one time in I think it was in practice, but he went over the bars. Everybody made their way down. Walker Fowler got to race his hero and a legend in his own mind in John Natalie. Walker said if John would have beat him, that would have been a highlight of his life. Walker beat him, moved on. Then Walker faced Bryce in the semifinal, and Bryce beat him. That put Bryce and Joel in the head-to-head battle. The race with Bryce and Joel, if you took a poll on the live stream, everybody was saying Joel had it. I don't think but one or two people picked Bryce. It was pretty much, if you were in Vegas and you were betting, everybody was betting the money on Joel. Pretty much until they made the lane swap. Bryce was maybe 10 bike lengths behind. Joel approached the I would say the tougher section of the tires, and made an error and got a little hung up. Went over the bars. Bryce seen this, got excited, and bombed his section, and he almost went over the bars and then almost looped out coming out of the tires. So it got super exciting. Bryce was on the gas, and he was all by himself. He rolled onto the motocross track, and he said he almost stopped and turned around because because he didn't hear Joel's machine as he rounded one of the straightaway turns or onto one of the straightaways. He could see Joel back there close enough to where he couldn't just ride out the finish easy. He had to push it because Joel was coming, and Joel's pretty fast. So it went down to the wire the last turn, and Bryce Ford walked away with 10 grand. Pretty amazing stuff. Danny Ray and I did a recap on pretty much the event on live on Instagram, which you'll hear pieces of that here. After the race, we had the opportunity to meet up with a few of the riders and get their perspective on what they thought of the event, how the race went for them. Hunter Hart, Walker Fowler, Logan Huff, Roberto. I'm sorry, Roberto, I can't pronounce your last name. These guys have a unique perspective. They all rode really well and had a great time. And I think you'll really enjoy the conversations we had with them. You'll get to see the interviews and listen to the live feed. I know you're really going to enjoy this. So have fun. Let's do a little bit of explanation of how this is going to go. Bracket racing is set up by a qualifying. So everybody's going to take a lap and they're going to qualify. Their time's going to post them in a specific order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, however many people there are. And when the qualifying's done, that's going to set up your brackets. 1 is going to race the slowest time. 2 is going to race the next time. 3, 4. If we have an odd number, the number 1 seed's going to get a bye. So what'll happen is you'll line everybody up, and I think the way they did this is they had an extra set, so the slowest 2 times had to race off to who got to run against number 1. Unfortunately, that was Jeff Rastrelli and Brandon Hogue, but at least they each got a run at it. So once the brackets are all set and everybody's laid out to race and the head-to-heads go off, it's loser goes home. I mean, if you don't make it, you're out. So single elimination is what they call it. As you go through the bracket, it runs down to the end. And at the end of our bracket, you're going to have the fastest time is going to get another bye at the end. So you're going to have number 2 and number 3 racing each other, not on times, but in position and how they earn their way to the bracket through the brackets. You'll have number 2 and 3 race, and that will give you your main event with the fastest qualifier, as if he wins out or whoever puts themselves in that position. We're in for some really good stuff. You have some really fast guys that can navigate the obstacles well, and they're super fast on the motocross track, which these are big banking curves. So our TT guy is going to have an advantage in some of the sweeper style turns, but he's also been a fast qualifier in motocross in the Pro-Am division. So he's no slouch to this. He'll run really strong. You have your desert guys that can get through the obstacles and pound through them super hard. The motocross guys obviously are going to do really well in the motocross. And you have some motocross guys that have raced woods, so they're used to some obstacles. And then you have your cross-country guys that have ridden over just about everything you can imagine. They're not too familiar with the tires, but that's a great thing because you didn't want to give anybody an advantage. We have John Natalie, who's came out of retirement for this. He's 47 years old. He's a 2-time national motocross champion. And watching him in practice, he is in shape and he is fast. So he did really well in the setup and practice. He was the only one getting over the tires. So.
All right, we're down to the enduro cross section. I apologize, I had very little battery left. We're down to the last race. It's Bryce before the main event. It's Bryce Ford versus Ricky Fowler. Ricky Fowler's got the lead right now, currently, and the winner of this race is Joel Hetrick for the finale. He's at 10%.
Kicking butt. He wants that 10 grand, man. He's not screwing around out here. Yep, here, another lap to go.
Fowler versus Ford. Oh, Fowler crashed. Fowler. Shit. Here we go. As of right now, it's going to be Bryce Ford versus Joel Hetrick for the finale, unless Fowler can pull something out. Let's see. Fowler looked good. I got about like 7% battery, so I'm hoping to get the finale here. Fowler's not giving up. No, you're good. I've been. It's like Bryce Ford's got it. Boy, Walker Fowler. It is Joel Hetrick versus Bryce Ford.
But here we go.
Here we go. Here's the finale. 10 grand on the line.
Bryce Ford, Joel Hetrick. Who's it gonna be?
Who you guys think? Joel or Ford?
Final race of the evening. Then we're gonna have a little bit of music. We'll set up for the awards. After the awards, we can all hightail it to Vegas and get ready for the Huevos concert tomorrow night.
I apologize. I will not be able to be live for the awards.
9-point breaking sequence. Human and Love. Going to be a great show. All right, we're 2 minutes away from a quad race where you can actually walk away with $10,000 in your pocket. It comes down to 2 motocross quad racers. Joel Hetrick
go, 10 grand right here on the line. Gets out in front and going into the back.
Final race of the night.
Joel's out in front right now.
Crowd adjusting to the other side of the track. See who's going to first. Somebody must have got hung up.
Joel's still out in front. No, there was no. I don't believe that there was any smoke coming from Bryce's spike. I did not notice, but maybe. And girl cross section is beat up. Oh, Hetrick stalls. Oh, Hetrick stalled. Oh, and then he crashed. Damn. Dang. Unless he can catch him, that looks like Bryce Ford has it. He is okay. He is okay. He got up and he's back out there. Just won it. Wins.
Once again, Bryce Ford is your winner of the Huevos.
Hey, we're live on
big congrats to Bryce Ford.
Huevos race. Bryce Ford just freaking won.
You got to put it on red and black.
And 10 grand. Bryce Ford just won 10 grand. That's awesome.
I just was on live on that.
Excellent.
All right, if I can get Joel Hetrick and Walker Fowler up here. Cruise on over here, guys. I know you didn't get the 10 G's, but I got a consolation prize.
We're going to get you to show Bryce.
See if we can get Joel up here. I'll start off with Walker Fowler. Came in third place. Rockwell gave us these cool custom watches.
Are we good?
With Huevos Pro Invitational on them.
We're going
there you go.
Instagram
There's
at the
your
moment.
custom watch.
And
Congratulations
Walker
on
Fowler
third.
got third place.
You had a good run going there. Just,
did really good.
It didn't come together
Really,
again.
really good. It was a great race.
Yeah, so what do you think of this?
Unbelievable.
Just phenomenal. You did a fantastic job. I hate to tell you this, but I almost think being at this facility was better. I think it leveled the playing field for all of us. Obviously, I don't come from a supercross background, so some big flowy jumps, and then obviously the kick-ass endurocross section. It really leveled the playing field for us. I was bummed I had to take Hunter Hart out in the first round. I think he would have went pretty far too, but awesome to represent GNCC on the East Coast and come here and race guys that stirred the pot a little on the internet.
Unbelievable event
About the when they were going overseas, but just awesome to race with Bryce and Joel, and man, just we had an awesome crowd today. You don't get that everywhere. So fantastic event. It was phenomenal, and man, I know this is supposed to be a one-time thing, but I know that we all really hope that this isn't a one-time thing.
All right, guys, there you have it, Walker Fowler. This guy is one of the all-time badasses of GNCC, 7-time GNC. From Rockwell, they came through with custom watches for these guys. They really support racing. They've been doing custom watches for a lot of the series, so if you're looking for a timepiece, I highly recommend Rockwell watches. Bryce, here you go. You rock that with pride. And we got some beautiful trophy girls here. Why don't I step to this side, and let's give Bryce his check.
All right, Bryce!
All right, so 10 G's.
Hold it up again!
Right, do it again! One more time! You paying them all in one?
Yeah, we'll probably help when he goes back to Vegas.
That's awesome.
All right, so Bryce, what do you think about this?
I thought it was insane, honestly. Just like I said, you calling me, and it was something that I've never had before, and getting the opportunity to race for $10,000. I've never had that opportunity for sure, but just super stoked. This event was really cool to me, showing up today and seeing those logs and tires. I was a little nervous, but couldn't get too nervous because I was gonna have to hit them. And then going to zero and practice wrecking in front of everyone, but just, oh my God, I had so much fun. I'd rather do this than what I do full time, but this was amazing. Thank you so much to you, and thank you to everyone who helps me. This wouldn't be possible without all you guys, and it was super cool seeing John Natalie here. He beat me in qualifying, and I was like, man, that really sucks, just being off the bike for so long, and this is like my home, but it is what it is, and this was a super fun event. Hopefully this event happens in the future, and anything we can do, myself, I would love to help, make this event happen. But thank you so much to the whole track.
Corey Ellis, how are you, brother?
Doing good. Doing really good.
Hey, we didn't get to catch up with you at the Invitational race. What'd you think?
It was awesome. It blew me away because I didn't think it was gonna be that good, and it was awesome racing. They kept it on it.
Once the thing got rolling,
Yeah.
It was incredible. I mean, the head-to-head racing, who got through the obstacles, unbelievable.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you never knew who was going to win that race, even if they're out front halfway through until they came around that second lap. To go through the endurocross section. I mean, that was just a game changer there. So it made it very interesting. Very interesting.
I know Walker Fowler's one of your guys, and you can never count the guy out.
Yeah.
Most of the people in the feed were saying Joel, and they were watching, but reluctantly because they figured Joel was going to win. What did you think about that final race?
The motocross track was, I think because Wes didn't have a chance to really modify it too much.
Right.
But the motocross track was was mellow, but it was a good mellow. Everybody was fast, so there wasn't any do or dies, which was nice to see the riders not having to worry about that. But everybody went fast. I mean, Walker's a fast guy on motocross track. People don't realize that he runs that good. But the motocross track really didn't have anything to separate anybody too much. And I believe most of the guys, the motocross guys, ran big tires. Is that right?
Yeah, everybody ran big tires.
Yeah.
The obstacles were built in such a way that you had to run big tires.
Yeah. And the moto guys aren't used to running big tires. So them, even though they're running a motorbike with big tires on it, it handles totally different. So turning in everything. So I think that was a little bit of advantage for Walker on the motocross section, where there wasn't anything really technical to separate anybody, even though Walker's very technical. But it kept everybody really close together on the motocross section. Everybody was pretty much the same speed. So it all came down to that endurocross section. And that, like you said, that last race with Joel, it looked like Joel had it. And just one little hiccup there in the end, Ford got it. I mean, and same with the race with Walker and Ford. Walker had it, and then Walker messed up, and Ford got it. So I mean, Ford rode awesome, but he also lucked in those 2 last rounds and took the win.
Well, not making a mistake.
Yeah,
gave him.
Yeah. I shouldn't say luck. He rode smart and he got over those things. But when he passed Joel, he about came off the bike. That was close.
Well, when he came out of the tires, he was on the side of the berm where the big tires were buried, barely holding on to the machine.
I think he had one hand on the handlebar, 1 foot on one peg, and that was about it.
Dude, he was almost on the ground.
It looked like a bunking Bronco as he went out of sight for me, and so I was like, "Oh, is he still up? Is he down? Is he up? Is he down?" It's like to see him pop back up down there. He did. Everybody that was there was on their feet, on their tippy toes, trying to see what was going on, watching. It was a phenomenal race. I mean, it was. I'm glad I went and watched it because it was something to see that, I mean, all those guys raced that close, and the short sprint, basically, lap and a half, 2 lap races made it where it didn't get spread out too. So it was tight racing, which made it a lot of fun.
It's awesome. We all have to thank GBC, myself included, ATV-TALK. They're a huge supporter. So if you're out buying tires, hey, this is the guy you want to talk to. This is the company that you want to reach out to because they're backing the ATV industry. They're always supporting everybody. It doesn't matter what level you are. So go out and get yourself some GBC tires. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hey, thank you so much for Rugged Radios and you and all that you did for that invitation race. You guys killed it with that setup.
We were trying, last minute changes, but that's what we do at Rugged. We're always ready for anything.
That's awesome. Hey, I know that you're a huge ATV fan. What brought you into that invitational, and how did all that happen?
Well, I grew up in Oregon, so for me, I'm not used to California life and everything else I was doing with ATVs, and we didn't have very many spots open for ATVs. So Wes's videos, me and my son used to watch those videos all back in the day, and that's how we knew what was going on in the racing world, what was new. And me being a person that always loved 3-wheelers, ATVs, and ATCs, motorcycles, anything motorsports-wise, want to be part of it. And it's one time in my life where I get to meet all of my icons in one place. There's never been nothing where everybody's in one place at one time.
No, there hasn't been. And I think that's what made it so unique. Hunter Hart, how are you, brother?
Oh, we're back.
You didn't have the greatest Friday night at the Invitational, but did you have a lot of fun? You always have fun.
I mean, I'm supposed to say yes.
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It was different. We, I really don't know what happened. I think I forgot how to ride my ATV. We didn't do much of anything that we expected that we would do for ourselves. And then, it was a real bummer when it was Walker and I the first round, But all in all, it was different, As I look back on it, glad we got to do it. Glad I was a part of it, But other than that, we're good.
If you got an opportunity to run another race like that Invitational, would you be interested?
I'd go, for sure. I would definitely go. Now that we've invested in a West Coast setup, you never know where you'll see me next. We might be out in the desert again. But no, it'll be good. We definitely have some exciting things planned. My boy Chris at Maxis, him and I were talking about some stuff this weekend when he was out here. And yeah, we've got some exciting things in the works. You never know what you're going to see next.
Roberto, hey, how are you, brother?
Fine, you?
Good, man. Hey, you were out at the Invitational race on Friday night. What'd you think of that?
Oh, it's a pretty cool race, especially because all the fast races were there, like the fastest races in the planet. And I don't know, I feel happy
Well, hey, you had the tires, especially the big tire, down pat. You were the only one that was launching off that.
Yeah. Well, here in Works we have all the obstacles, so that helped me a lot. But I didn't have the motocross setup. My bike is for Works, right?
Right.
But it was pretty cool. I had fun, and I'm thankful with Wes that he invited me, and it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Unfortunately, you had an injury in there during the middle of the season.
Yes.
It took you out of the points race. How are you feeling now? And are you fully 100% recovered?
Yes, absolutely. My knee, I hurt my meniscus and my ligaments, tore them out. But right now I'm feeling pretty strong, and I feel better than I used to before. So yeah, 100%.
Conditioning's all back, and you're ready to rock and roll.
Yes, of course.
Excellent.
I feel ready.
That's awesome. If you got an opportunity to race another event like that Invitational, would you be interested?
Oh, of course. Yeah, any day.
Excellent.
Especially racing against all the fast racers, it's a good opportunity to test how good you are.
That's excellent. Logan Huff, how are you, brother?
I'm good. How you doing, lady?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Well,
Hey.
good to see you.
We missed you Friday night. I know that you got to run that event.
Yeah.
I know Friday night may not have went the way you wanted to. We
Dude.
were going to interrupt you, but you were busy
Ain't no
getting
big deal.
your machine ready. And then afterwards, we didn't catch up with you at all. What did you think of that event?
It was so sick. That was so much fun.
Look at the smile, man.
Whatever, dude. I got eliminated pretty quick, but we went up against some heavy hitters the other night, and it was rad to just be there. And I had so much fun in practice and qualifying. I got over the tires pretty good in practice and qualifying, but came down to it when the pressure was all on me, in the moto. That screwed up, and Galata got me. So that's one of those deals.
Right.
It was still sick to watch, and dude, Bryce Ford and Joel Hetrick, dude, their moto, you just seen feet in the last lap in both lanes in the Enduro Cross. It was rad. Super cool. I hope they do something like that again.
So you'd be down to race something like that if you got an invitation?
I would, yeah, totally. Yeah, I'd be up for it.
Well, that's awesome. Walker Fowler, how are you, brother?
Doing great.
I'm doing awesome. Hey, thanks for taking some time with us. You come to the West Coast. This isn't your first time racing a different event. What did you think of that event?
After seeing, we got stuff blowing around. After seeing what our course would have been, I'm actually glad it was moved. It would have catered a lot more to the motocross guys. It being moved to Sandy Valley, I believe, was that event. It was a lot faster, more open motocross style, which really kind of levels the playing field. You can only go so fast. So obviously, Joel Hetrick and Bryce Ford's machines are just incredibly fast. But like I said, I think it evened the playing field out in the Enduro Cross. That was literally the make or break it. I was able to get to the semifinal against Bryce Ford, and he just, he cleaned the Enduro Cross section, which for a guy that's never ridden that, I was super impressed with how he did. And then obviously he ended up going on to win. But man, I've seen John Natalie 100 times now, but every time I see him, I'm just like, this is so sick that I got to race against John Natalie and I beat him. And that's I just still can't believe it for sure.
Hey, for a 47-year-old guy to rock that way was incredible.
It's like he never left, man. He's still riding unbelievable, and his speed and just his ability. He'll be a great rider for another 10 years, I'm sure.
Well, I interviewed him after the event, and he said he was coming back.
It's awesome. For moto or for
moto,
that'll be awesome. I think he still has it. Obviously, he'll have to, kind of get the fitness back to be able to run the 25 minutes, but his ability is still there for sure. So it was awesome to just be able to hold my own too. I thought I would be way off, and obviously Hetrick was 4 or 5 seconds faster. I think my lap times came around by the end of the night. I kind of learned the track. I don't ride under lights. I don't ride moto very much, and I was really, really proud of how the XC guys did. I hated lining up with Hunter Hart on round 1, but I thought we all put on a really good show, and just so different, man. I keep saying, and I know it gets old hearing it, but this is so out of my realm of what I do.
So if you got another invitation for an event like that, would you be interested?
100% in. Assuming I can make it, I had so much fun.
Max Lindquist, how are you, brother?
Doing good. Looking forward to a fun day of racing. I know that we had a conversation on Friday about your strength and your conditioning. Do you think that there's going to be any difference with the conversation we had Friday to now?
I'm not too worried about it. So
that's the answer I expected.
I think we'll set a good pace, and I don't see myself slowing down. That's for sure.
That's awesome. Let's go back to Friday night a little bit. The obstacles were a little bigger in some forms than most people expected. What'd you think about the event overall?
I mean, I thought it was a really cool event. Obviously, it came down to some tires. I think that's what separated the race, and obviously we all had our difficulties on them. It was just kind of when you had them. Definitely something that I can go without for a while, but would definitely go back and do it again and see what we can do. It's definitely something I got to go home and work on.
So if you got an invitation to an event like that, you'd be game to play.
Yeah, I would definitely go back. I would say it was a fun time, a cool atmosphere. Obviously, just would look.
Hey everybody, it's Hunter Duncan here with ATV-TALK, and we're going to talk about the Huevos race last night with the Enduro Cross section, and we wanted to know what everybody's intake was on that, our input is on that, and if you liked that portion. And everybody, this is Danny Ray, this is my son, and he ran the live for us yesterday. I'd like some comments on how you think he did for us. They put me on a camera, and he had the Enduro Cross section and the finish line, which was excellent. We believe the event was amazing, and the turnout was excellent. We missed a few riders because of the change. Wes did a great job with the supporting cast, Rugged Radios, GBC Tires for us. They help take care of us. So if you're in need of tires, go talk to GBC, get a hold of Corey Ellis, he'll hook you up. We always have to thank them for their input. Danny, when you were down there in the Enduro Cross, what were some of the things that you heard the riders talking about, and were any of the other competitors saying anything, or how about the fans that were really close to them?
Well, they were all saying that it was the great equalizer, and for the riders anyways, the riders were sitting there, talking about how they were going to get over the obstacles. A lot of the motocross guys have never seen obstacles like that. That's why you saw somebody like Walker Fowler, who does obstacles like that. They were able to get third place and really, really contend for that win in that third place. I think he did really well over the obstacles. The motocross section, Bryce Ford had a little bit over him in that little bit, but it was very interesting. They were all very intrigued, and all of them renowningly said that they would love to do an event like that. Bryce Ford rode phenomenally last night, but the big difference was him getting over the tires and Joel Hetrick getting tied up on those tires. That was the deciding factor for most of the races. Some of them were not, but you had Max Lindquist come back. He had a problem starting off, and he came back and he won. And he advanced to the second round. He advanced to the second round because of it. So I personally heard that the Enduro Cross was probably the best portion of it. At the event last night, everybody was crowded around the Enduro Cross section. That was 100% where everybody was at.
We will be producing a show with all the content that we have, with all the interviews that we have before the event, after the event, and during the event. So this is something that you'll be able to catch on our normal ATV-TALK podcast drop on Tuesdays. Everybody expected Joel Hetrick to win. Joel was super fast. He made zero mistakes until the end. He was a fast qualifier, but what, 2 seconds? 2 seconds, and then the next closest person, that was over Max, and the next closest person after that was 4 seconds away from him. I mean, the guy was phenomenally fast. He was ready. I think it was a little bit cold last night, and that had played a little bit of a factor as well. But, I mean, I think that these guys would love to do another event. That's what they all said. And if you did an event where it has a little bit of, like I said, Arena Cross plus Enduro Cross, you're going to get people from the World Series, the Work Series, and get all of them to come in and have an amazing event. The big draw was the money. Yeah, because most of the purses on anything that you race in the ATV world are small. So we want to increase those. So that's where you're going to get the riders of caliber to come and do these things. But you're also going to generate a whole new breed of riders. It's where you're going to bring some of your amateur guys from your XC, your Works, and even your motocross to where they're going to just come and start competing. We'll probably have to turn it into a qualifying system, to get the top 20 guys to the main event.
Don't get to meet him. I actually met Joel Hetrick for the first time in my entire life yesterday, and I was like a kid in the candy store. Same with Jeff Estrelli. I had never met him before either. I had met Natalie and a few of these other guys, but I've idolized a lot of these guys since I was a little kid.
Well, speaking it from a fan base, Danny, because you're still a huge fan.
Yeah.
You grew up going to the races with some of these guys, like Joe Bird and Travis Spader and Tim Farr, and you still idolize some of them for some of the things that they did. You're also had a household name. Doug Eichner was over at the house more than not. So
still call him Uncle Doug.
Yeah, so as a fan, you're looking at it from a different perspective because you were inside the circle as a fan.
Yeah, and that is a little bit different, but even getting to meet all these guys are so nice, and they'll sit there and have a conversation with you, and getting you guys more, not just what they post on Instagram, not what just they post on Facebook, but you actually having the ability to have an Instagram live interview, post race section, to where somebody can type in and text and be like, hey, I have this question. They do that stuff in MMA, they do that stuff in a lot of other events, and it would be super awesome for the fans to be able to ask a question as well as they're watching. They get to watch it, and then afterwards they get an invitation to come to the post-conference.
The interaction with you guys is really what we're looking for. Ask questions. Be part of the lives that we're doing, so that we can get your side, or if you have a personal question, come on, keep it within the realms of where we can answer. And let's get these guys closer to you. Let's talk about Joel Hetrick just for a moment. We're in a parking lot, getting a couple supplies to go to the Huevos event. Joel Hetrick is on his way to meet up with his crew, and he just happens to see the license plate and the t-shirt, so he stops. He gets out of the car and talks with us. We spent 30, 40 minutes standing outside there at the bed of the pickup truck talking, telling stories, interacting, having a great time. For Danny, obviously, that was a great thing. I've met Joel, spoke to Joel, had him on the show. He's a great guy. He's a fierce competitor. But when you get to know the Joel away from the racetrack, dude, he's down to earth. He's just regular Joe, puts his shoes on one foot at a time, just like everybody else. And when you get to meet these people and spend time with them, this is what we want to bring to everybody, is they're human, dude. They're just like you. They have a passion for racing ATVs. Joel gets to do it for a living. There's very few of us in the industry that have gotten to do that. I'm very blessed. Trust me, I have got to live a dream my whole life. So give us some feedback if you could in the comment sections. You can catch us on Facebook, Instagram. We have a YouTube channel.
Love it.
Hey, is that the Kangaroo Kid?
Oh, yes,
Come on over here. It's get behind us.
They're doing a live feed right now.
Yes, we are. Hey, the Kangaroo Kid. Check this out. Eric Cobb, what's going on, man? How are you? Nick Brunlin. Everybody. These guys are legends, and they've all been in the sport for an extremely long period of time.
Long time.
Matt, what did you think of that event last night?
I thought it was great. I actually thought that it was good that we weren't taking on another event like the Works system, right?
Right.
It deserved its own identity. Right? It was a fantastic format. Wes and his crew did a fantastic job to get it organised in 24 hours. It was an amazing event.
It was. It really was. We had such a blast. I ran into the Kangaroo Kid standing on the sideline. Didn't know that he had showed up for the event, and somebody had pointed him out. So He's also got an episode on ATV-TALK. Tells us some really great behind-the-scenes stories. Don't let your kids listen, please. You know, it's not X-rated, but it's close. He's a lot of fun. This is what we're talking about. Matt right here has had events all over the world where he's drawn crowds of unbelievable amount of people to watch ATVs do tricks, things that you don't see them do. What about the steamboat jump?
Like the pedal step in Macau, I did 5 nights a week for 6 months, 5 nights a week, 2,500 people per night with people from all over Asia. Never seen quads before. You know, and they're amazed by what ATVs can do. Anyway, we're going to go, because I'm going to do another interview for a movie that's being made now, the rest of the stuff as well.
You remember your episode number?
God, I don't know. I think mine's 35, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think mine's 35, so go on a podcast and listen to it. Some good stuff. Good to see everybody.
Nick Grumlin right there. Eric Cobb.
We could probably do a part 2, huh?
Yes, we could.
All right, let me know, man.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
See you, mate. Yeah, see you, mate. See you,
See you guys later. We'll catch up with you guys tonight.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hey, tonight here in Vegas, we're going to have a Legends dinner. We'll be going to that at 5 o'clock this evening. And all these great guys that have raced ATVs and done things on ATVs. But you guys, most of you have not seen it because there was never good coverage of it. That's what we want to bring to you. We want to bring these guys from out in the middle of nowhere doing things that we all want to do and love right into your living room so that you can see it and have a great time with them and enjoy it yourselves. What'd you think about that, Danny?
That's pretty cool. Dana Creech just walked by.
Dana Creech! You have Dana Creech in the house. He's one of the pioneers in your extreme sport in ATV, doing stunts on an ATV. Come around behind me. Come around behind me, brother.
You just stay on this thing live
all the time, man. Dana Creech in the house. Here we go, guys.
Long time. Long time. Missed you last night.
Hello. Hey, Dana. You were a pioneer in starting off the extreme portion of ATVs with some of those crazy jumps and things like that. What did you think of that event last night?
It was good. It was good. It was a great event. Great that they got it pulled off so well. I think it probably was better than it would have been packed Buffalo Bills, honestly. Better track and stuff. We got showcase riders better there.
It was pretty awesome.
Motocross bikes probably wouldn't have liked rocks if there was rocks at the other one.
I think there were rocks.
Yeah, I think the logs and tires were enough for those guys. Walker probably had a better chance if there was rocks there.
Right.
You know, he was one of the top guys. Yeah, maybe just a wide bike for turning would have made him way ahead of some of them.
Wasn't his bike wide, or did he have a different axle?
It looked like it was narrow.
His rear axle was narrow. Well, you think that the cross-country guys on the motocross track did really well, though.
Mm-hmm. No, they did great. I just think a wider bike would have benefited him at this one.
Right.
Because he was already one of the top guys. He just needed a little bit more to really be. I mean, he could have won it anyway. Just get lucky on the tires, anybody.
Right.
Obviously. Joel Gifted.
Bryce Ford,
right there,
didn't make the mistake.
But that was part of it.
Joel did, and Bryce won.
What did you think of this? What did you think of the enduro cross as a whole? Would you like to see more quads do enduro cross split like that?
Are you going to come out of retirement?
I need a new bike.
Well, obviously, if we get you a new bike, would you come out of retirement, get back into shape, come out there and show these boys how to do it?
I would like to just do fun stuff instead of race.
Ride wheelies and
set up at home and just definitely do a lot of fun stuff. I'd never not be busy doing that.
That's pretty awesome.
So, I'd rather do that than race.
Are you guys getting ready to head over to the dinner?
Yeah, we're going there right now.
Awesome. We'll catch up with you over there, man.
All right. Good seeing you.
Thanks, Dana.
Say hi tonight.
We will.
I was down doing live. And then I couldn't find you afterwards.
Yeah. That was cool.
That was Dana Creech, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Dana.
Yep.
So, hey, we're going to cut this right now, guys, and we're going to go get ready, and we'll see you back later tonight at the Legends Dinner. So be ready to tune in, have your phones and open up to Instagram so when we go live, you're ready. Thank you again from ATV-TALK. Danny Ray, I thank you so much for joining us. It's always an honor to have my son with me. He's traveled with me since he was super young, and it's kind of...
We got to go to the reunion dinner. It was held at a Mexican restaurant bar. They had a buffet there. The food was really good. We had a great time. I got to see people that I hadn't seen in years. Matt Coulter from Australia came. There, Shane Hitt, Digger Doug Gus, John Natalie. John Natalie rode in the race, so I got to see him there. But also that night, it was really good to see him and talk with him and share some stories. I got to talk to Pat Brown and Eric Cobb. These are guys that were bigger than life back then. They were riding ATVs that most people today use as collector's items because they're the original machines that most people seen in the videos that you can't buy anymore, and some of the art form is lost because you can't find some of those machines anymore. You can't even find some of these guys anymore because they're doing things that are so far away from ATVs. Jeffrey Rastrelli was there. Jeff Rastrelli, Mark Baldwin. I got to sit down and while he was eating and talk a bit. And these guys are. Yeah, I'm a fan, and I'm in the industry, and I've spent time with a lot of them. When we were younger, when we all had different colored hair or had hair. And now we're gray and old and still doing it. A lot of us are still in the industry and still working hard and loving ATVs every day. Dino Dean Sundahl was there, dude. That was the greatest thing. I know he lives in our hometown and we get to see him occasionally, but seeing him there was really awesome. Jeremiah Jones, who's probably got one of the best visions of how racing really works and what's going on the track and what riders are doing. Jeremiah is really great. Hopefully we'll get him on the podcast one day and get into his insights about really what's going on the track. But he was a lot of fun to hang out with, and I got to talk with him. It was a great experience. After the reunion dinner, we headed over to backstage bar and billiards for what they had with a concert with 4 bands and some music that went along with the videos that were made at the time. It was the style of the music that they used at the time, and it was what you were hearing in the background during some of the racing and some of the shots that they were taking through the videos. So on our way over there, we got to run into Digger Doug Gust and his wife, and we got to spend some time talking with them and going over some of the things that we did, back in the day. We also ran into Susan Parker. I hadn't seen her in person in years. She's been on the show, but she's a very busy. Yeah, it was great to run into these people. Once we got inside the venue, they had video screens where the movies were playing in different segments of different portions of different movies were on the screens. They had some paraphernalia with T-shirts and stickers, a lot of the old school stuff that you haven't seen in a long time, and that was great. I got to spend a little time with Wes Miller inside the venue. I mean, it was hard to talk, but we still got to enjoy the moment, and you got a sense of how special this event was with the times with these riders. Some of them haven't ridden in 30 years and haven't seen each other in 20 plus. So they got to spend time doing things that they did back then, listening to this kind of music, going to these kind of concerts, having a beer, grabbing a meal and just being friends. Yeah, and then some of them got to see themselves on video, and they hadn't watched the movies in years and years, or maybe never watched the movie. So that was pretty exciting. Danny, got to come with us, and Valeria, it was her first look into really what the Huevos thing was all about. So they had the collectible videos and DVDs there, and Danny got to buy the DVD that he didn't have for his collection. That was really great for him. The dinner and the race and the concert all being on the same weekend, bringing all these legends of the sport together, was a really great thing for the industry. It was a great thing for these guys and ladies to get to see each other again and take part in it. It was pretty awesome stuff. We were in the old downtown Vegas, the old strip, the covered portion. If you haven't got down there, you need to go. It's really nice place. It's away from the strip, and you're more laid back, and it's more fun. I think that for myself and the group, it worked out really great. So when you listen to this episode and you see some of these photos, it's a great remembrance to where we've come. And remember, these aren't the first generation guys through. These guys like Dean was there in the beginning, and he's got some of these guys by 25 years. So the elevation of the sport, and Wes bringing everybody together, and where he came up with this idea, I don't know, but it was an awesome show. It was a great race, a great dinner, and then the concert across the street was the top, that made it all just an amazing evening.